Welcome to this Grandma's Life podcast. I'm your host, theciaellis. Get ready to laugh, learn, and grow with me as we explore growing old in an ever changing world. One of the good things about growing old is people judge you less when you sometimes say outrageous things. I'm getting older and I've had a fascinating life. I also have opinions. You may not agree with those opinions, and I may not care. Even now, I'm passionate about many things. I love to learn. I love quotes. I love my animals on the farm, and I care about my country. Join me as we explore loving life, even as we age. Today is February 28, 2025, and this is episode 75, When Life Throws You a Curveball. In this episode, we're going to discuss some major changes in my life. But first, farm happenings. All right. Basketball season came to an end with senior night. And I didn't think about Kinsey didn't actually go out for basketball to play, but she was a manager of the boys team. And so she was honored along with the rest of the seniors. And it was so wonderful. I mean, my baby is a senior. She's got like 3 months of school left and she's going to be out of school. And so now graduation is coming up. So yeah, it's just one of those things. And I love that girl with all my heart. And every time we do something like this, like walking around with her in for senior night and stuff, I feel it. I moved my pigs to a new paddock. I combined all three of them. Well, yeah, I have three of them left now because we had taken two of them to the processor. So I moved them all together into one paddock, and they've all got grass and winter grass, but it's not on mud, and I was glad for that. We've had a lot of cold and snow. Right now it's gorgeous. It's like 70 degrees outside and just really gorgeous out there. But last week we were in the single digits, and I don't think we got as much snow as what was um, forecasted, but we still got plenty of snow, and it was definitely cold. So we had that too. Last week, my daughter-in-law and my little 3-year-old grandbaby and I went to the Oklahoma Aquarium and spent an afternoon there looking at all the fish and watching Ivy, check out all the fish and everything while we were there. That was really cool. What I'm listening to, I'm still listening. I think I'm on my second listening to the Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink and Leif Babin, and I'm still on my second listening of Heretics of Doom by Frank Herbert. Herbert. When I'm still reading Spud Spam and Eating for Victory, Rationing in the Second World War by Catherine Knight. I'm taking my time going through that. I'm taking notes. I'm highlighting things and just essential learning. And the same thing with Muscular Training for Pain-Free Living by Craig Williamson. That I'm taking notes on that one and stuff. So, but for my novel, I guess it's a novel. It's historical, and there are some novel like, I mean, it's true history, but he actually puts some dialogue and stuff in it. So I don't know that it's actually a novel, but it's kind of cool. But it's Poland by James Michener. And so yeah, a lot of things haven't changed, but I'm working my way through it. My quote of the week: the scariest thing is to be the person you are and meeting the person you could have been. And I looked and I couldn't find who that was. And so therefore, since I don't know who said it, I don't have any biography to read to you about the author. But the scariest thing is to be the person you are and meeting the person you could have been. So that's all for all those segments. And now I'm going to get into the main subject: when life throws you a curveball. If you are watching this on video, you can see that I'm in a space that is not my normal space. I am in somebody else's bedroom. And yeah, life has thrown me a curveball. Um, Not long after Tom and I got married, his father died, and the death affected my husband pretty deeply. And so he went through kind of a depression with that, and pretty much dealt with it okay. But that was kind of the beginning of some issues with Tom and his mental health. And a few years after that, some health issues with his mother sent him into a deep depression. Like, I thought for a while he was going to kill himself. I was even afraid to leave the room because I just was pretty sure if I walked back into the room, he was going to be dead. And he quit bathing. He quit brushing his teeth. He quit. I mean, he was weird. He'd go to work every day, but but that was all. And over the years, Tom is generally depressed, but he's functional. Like I said, he goes to work, but for most of our married life, it's been one of those things where he goes to work and he comes home and sits. He eats dinner and watches television, and that's what he's done most of the time. Um, that was part of the reason I did my YouTube channel, because I had wanted to move forward in life and stuff. Now you'll see him in my YouTube videos helping me on some things. Part of the reason he helped me, he would never get out there and do something on his own. But if I did something, he would come out and help me. And I only was able to do that when he wasn't at work. So, and I tried to get him into my YouTube. Well, I just needed his help for basically. And so, yeah, he is in several of my YouTube videos on Grandma's Homestead videos. And so, but we just never got a whole lot accomplished over the years, because for one thing, I was trying to do it by myself, and he was unable to help me for a variety of reasons. Well, he was either at work or he was depressed. But every few years, he gets to feeling better. And I say that with quotes. He thinks he's feeling better, and he's actually turning into a real pain. And he takes on big projects like when early on, he started buying up Mopars. Like, he likes 1969 Super Bs. He had a 70 Super B. He had a 69 GTX. I can't remember what it is anymore. They're long gone. The only thing he has right now is a 69 Super B that's been in the barn covered. It is completely covered up. He is a hoarder. There's a lot of things that are being hoarded and stacked in our barn. And if you've seen any of my videos, you've seen that. You've seen all this stuff stacked up. One time when he was in his manic stage, we planted 320 grapevines and planted the vineyard. And the last time he was in his manic stage, and I say manic, he's never been to the doctor for it. He's never been truly diagnosed, but it is something that his father had trouble with, and his sister, and depression runs in his family. So he knows what it is, but he didn't want to acknowledge it, and he wasn't certainly going to get help for it and stuff. But the last time he became a beekeeper, had built up to 85 hives. And then when he comes back down, he basically he walked away from the 85 hives. The vineyard, he hasn't been in the vineyard in years, except maybe just to kind of look around and see stuff. So, but he hasn't done any work with the vineyard in years. And so that was one of the things that was left for me to do. I told him at the time I could not take over the bees whenever he walked away from the bees either, because I had plenty on my plate. Every time he gets into this stage where he thinks he's feeling good, he spends a lot of money, and he has almost ruined us more than once. And I've been able to save us. I've been able to kind of get things moving forward and stuff. Of course, we've had to sold some property to get some money so I can get us out of it. But he spends the money, and we nearly lost everything the last time he was in this stage, and that's when I took over the money. And this time, what he calls feeling good, has been just a disaster. I am now the enemy because I was in charge of the money. He's convinced that I have stolen $60,000 from him. I don't have $60,000, guys. I promise. And I don't know. He wants the money. He has spent a lot of money, and sometimes our arguments over the money has become pretty heated, because for one thing, I was in charge of the money. So he would come, he goes, I want my money. And I'm going, well, but we got to pay the bills. And he goes, I don't care about the bills. I earned the money. I want it. And he goes, and I want your old phone because I'm going to sell it. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to sell that because I want the money. And so we've had some pretty heated arguments on occasion, and he can be very frustrating to speak to. And I have lost my temper once or twice and thrown a remote control and hit him, and a couple other things I've done. So despite my desire to remain calm, and I really try really hard to remain calm and say, Tom, I need you to get some help. Please do this. Please do that. But he'd say something and I would snap and throw something at him. Okay, so yeah, I've made some bad choices. I won't lie. I've pounded on the walls. I've, just whatever. So he has somewhere along the way decided he wanted a divorce. and he has put a protective order out against me, and I have basically have lost my home. I've lost my farm. I've lost my home. I'm living with my son. They have been so gracious to me, and they're taking care of me and giving me a place to live. And then Kenzie, she's 18 now, so she kind of comes in and goes as she pleases. We all still love Tom. We do love Tom, regardless of how he feels about me. I still love him. He's my husband. We've been together for 25 years. He frustrates me to no end, and I've worked really hard to try to save our marriage on a wide number of years, and we got custody of Kinsey when she was 11, and he has been her grandpa. So she still loves him, and she just flat told me she's going to go back and forth. She's going to stay with Tom sometimes, and she's going to stay with me at Tony and Kayla sometimes, and I'm going, okay, that's what you need to do. Go for it. And so it's been she's been doing pretty good, but basically I've lost everything. I can't even, because of the protective order, I can't even go and get the rest of my stuff until we get cleared through the courts. And I don't know. It's just been a mess. It's been difficult. But he has filed for divorce. I can't do Grandma's Homestead. I'm thinking what I'm going to do with Grandma's Homestead. I may still try to do it, but mainly do kitchen stuff. And even though I'm not on my homestead, I'm hoping that I can still do some content over at Tony's house. He's trying to do a few little things to get this place set up so he could sell it. And so I just told him this morning, I said, I want to help. I want to do videos of it, and maybe I can have some content for that. And I'm looking for a job. I'm looking real hard for a job, but I'm 62. People don't hire 62-year-olds to do stuff. I've got a messed up foot where I can't stand for any length of time. I may not find a job. Life might get real tight for a while, but I'll do what I can, and I'm going to continue to find a way to do some work and do my best. I'm going to figure out how to do my brand. I've got some ideas going and see what we can do. And I feel bad because so many of my audience for Grandma's Homestead is watching an older woman doing things on a farm, and I don't have that option anymore. I may down the road, I may get another part of a homestead and be able to do something, but at the same time, I'm getting older. Like if you watch any of my videos, in the last one when I was moving the pigs, I did it by myself, and the pig huts, dragging them through the mud was difficult. It's hard work. It's I'm just getting tired, so I'm not sure. I need to figure it out. I have needed time to process. I've needed time to grieve. I'm feeling better. It feels good right now, even though I'm getting almost daily reports of some of the stuff that Tom's doing. Oh, that poor man, he is burning his life down right now. And so like almost every day I'm getting reports, and it's distressful. But me personally not being screamed at every day and accused of terrible things every day, I'm actually happier. I feel bad, but it's true. I've been relieved in a lot of ways because of it. Despite my poor choices with some of our arguments, I've worked very hard on the farm and our marriage, and the content will change for at least a while. And I will do my best to still be entertaining. I will still do my best to keep my audience the way it needs to be. Like, okay, I can still do probably like cooking videos. What I was talking before, I can do home cooked meals and prepper stuff, cooking from the pantry. Just different things. I can do stuff like that. So the two things I'm thinking about doing is kitchen stuff, which I'm probably going to have to do at the church because their lighting is better there. And I'm going some projects around the house helping my son. So, like I said, I pray that I don't lose too much of my audience in this transition. Oh, transition. Okay, let's think about that. That was my word of the year. Okay. And I was thinking that transition was going to be transitioning with my granddaughter graduating high school and preparing to send her off to college next fall, and missing her desperately, and try and find a way to get to where she is, to see her occasionally, and that was going to be a pretty good transition. And I severely underestimated what transition I would be going through. So yeah. Sometimes life throws you a curveball and you swing and you miss. But you know what? Don't give up. I'm not going to give up. I've still got life in me. I've still got laughter in me. I'm surrounded by some wonderful, wonderful people who are taking care of me. And so, like I said, when life throws you a curveball, okay, you swing and you miss, but don't give up. Wait for the next pitch and knock it out of the park. And that's what I'm planning on doing too. So my question of the day for you guys is, what are sometimes in your lives when you've had to pick up and start all over, whether you're ready or not? And I'll be perfectly honest, I've had to do this more than once. Not at this scale, but I've had to do it more than once. All right. The Self-Reliance Festival in Camden, Tennessee is October 4th and 5th. That is a wonderful thing to attend, to meet some wonderful people, to learn some wonderful stuff, and just make some interesting connections, things that you would not expect to make in connections. And even regardless of what your background life is and stuff, this is self-reliance. These are people who want to be self-reliant, and they have various ways to teach you. There's some classes. There's always, of course, they always have the vendors who are selling stuff, and they have speakers. I don't know. It's just wonderful. I love it there. October 4th and 5th in Camden, Tennessee. If you choose to go, and I really do hope you go, use a link below. And it doesn't cost you any more, but it does help. I get a little bit of a cut from whatever it is that you pay to go there, and maybe I'll be free to go there this year again too. That would be nice. Okay, I would appreciate if you would stick with me and give me a 5-star review on the podcast stuff, and like and follow me on the video part of it, and subscribe to my channel, where I can be found on Instagram. I'm under theciaellis. I do the scripture of the day and a quote of the day, and sometimes I put other pictures on stuff on Instagram. But my website for now is grandmashomestead.farm. I have the Grandma's Homestead YouTube channel, Farm Animal Life YouTube channel, Kinsey Lackey Sports YouTube channel, and also I can be found on TikTok, X, and Rumble under either Thecia Ellis or Thecia E. Facebook is Thecia V. Dayhoff Ellis, and I also have a Grandma's Homestead Facebook page. You can check me out there. All right, guys. I know this is completely different, but you got to do it sometimes. And all I can say is live until you die. This is all we've got. Even when your world is turned upside down, the rug's been pulled out from underneath you, live. God bless, guys. I'll see you next time.